Few figures in modern music embody resilience and advocacy quite like Sir Elton John, the piano-pounding virtuoso whose catalog spans 5 decades of hits, heartaches, and humanitarian triumphs. From Your Song to Rocket Man, his melodies have soundtracked generations, but it's his offstage crusades that truly define his legacy. In an impassioned plea amid global health disparities, John has turned his spotlight on the persistent fight against HIV/AIDS, decrying political inaction as a moral failing that dooms millions. His words, raw with frustration, underscore a battle that's far from won, even as medical advances offer glimmers of hope. John's outrage stems from a stark reality. Despite antiretroviral therapies turning HIV from a death sentence into a manageable condition, access remains uneven. In regions like Sub-Saharan Africa, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East, stigma, poverty, and policy barriers deny life-saving drugs to those in need. "I just am enraged by it," John declared, his voice a clarion call against complacency. He's particularly incensed by nations hoarding resources or ignoring pleas for collaboration, tools that could eradicate the epidemic within lifetimes. This isn't abstract policy, it's personal for John, whose own brushes with mortality from substance abuse to surgeries have fueled his empathy for the marginalized. Central to his advocacy is the Elton John AIDS Foundation, established in 1992 amid the crisis's darkest days. As the 5th largest global funder for HIV research, it has disbursed over $650 million, supporting initiatives from syringe exchanges in Ukraine to PrEP distribution in South Africa. The foundation's model blends celebrity clout with grassroots impact, hosting star-studded galas while partnering with NGOs for on-the-ground delivery. John's annual Academy Awards viewing party, a Hollywood staple, has raised tens of millions, blending glamour with gravity, guests like Lady Gaga and Matt Damon mingling to fund pediatric programs. His critique extends to superpowers like the United States, where domestic progress clashes with international neglect. While praising diplomatic pushes for Middle East peace, John lambasts the oversight of HIV's silent war, where sufferers languish without meds due to export bans or funding cuts. "It's very frustrating when you've got the tools in your hand to end it and then you find that countries won't help," he said, pinpointing Russia and conservative regimes where homophobia intersects with epidemiology. In the U.S., PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, has saved 25 million lives since 2003, yet proposed slashes under various administrations threaten reversals. John's activism traces to the 1980s, when AIDS ravaged creative circles. Friends like Ryan White, a teen hemophiliac whose story inspired legislation, became his cause célèbre. His 1992 foundation launch coincided with The Lion King's Can You Feel the Love Tonight? But privately he grappled with grief and addiction. Sobriety in 1990 marked a pivot, channeling survivors' guilt into action. Today at 78, health woes like hip replacements and eye surgeries haven't dimmed his fire. If anything, they've sharpened it, as seen in his 2019 memoir Me, where he dissects fame's hollow core against altruism's fulfillment. The current landscape is a mixed bag. Globally, 39 million live with HIV, with 1.3 million new infections in 2023 per on AIDS. Advances like long-acting injectables and gene therapies tantalize cures, but inequities persist. Women and girls account for 60% of cases in hard-hit areas, compounded by gender violence. John's plea urges G20 leaders to recommit to the 95-95-95 targets. 95% diagnosed, treated, and virally suppressed by 2030. He envisions a world where stigma crumbles, replaced by education. Imagine school curricula worldwide normalizing testing, or faith leaders preaching compassion over condemnation. Culturally, John's voice amplifies queer narratives, drawing from his 1975 coming out and 2005 marriage to David Furnish. Their sons, Zachary and Elijah, born via surrogacy, personalize his stake. Family photos from Wimbledon finals belie the urgency of his speeches. Collaborations with artists like Eminem on 3 AM, or Dua Lipa on Cold Heart, funnel proceeds to the cause, while documentaries like The Road to El Dorado, fictionalized, spotlight foundation work. Critics occasionally question celebrity saviors, but John's transparency, annual reports detailing every dollar, counters skepticism. Looking ahead, his big beef with government signals a broader indictment. Inaction as inhumanity. As climate and conflicts dominate headlines, HIV fades, yet its toll rivals pandemics past. John's solution? Leverage his Rocket Foundation for bolder interventions, like satellite clinics in remote villages or AI-driven adherence apps. He's rallied peers, Madonna's Raising Malawi echoes his model, fostering a celebrity vanguard against apathy. In essence, John's voice isn't just raised, it's a rocket launch propelling awareness skyward. His enragement fuels hope, reminding that endings demand beginnings, political will, societal shifts, and unyielding passion. As he croons in I'm Still Standing, resilience wins. In the AIDS fight, that anthem plays on, urging a world to join the chorus.